guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, I am Ndalenga and I am the founder of There Is Still Hope. There Is Still Hope is a place where we are encouraged to move away from past sorrows, places of defeat, places of discouragement, places that manage to beat us down, to move on and live a life that matters, a life of forgiveness, a life that does not allow the past to define our present. Well, thank you for joining me, and to my subscribers, thank you for keep coming back. As you can see, I'm not alone today. I am back with Milka. We're doing part 2. Part 1 is on the channel. If you have not seen it, please do make time and watch part 1 to understand part 2. We're getting into part 2 today. She's literally telling us her journey, and she's not saying she have reached, neither is she saying she has it all figured out. She is telling us that, look, this is where I have been, this is what I have gone through, and this is where I am today. So don't give up on yourself. If this is anything that interests you, stay tuned. Well, Milka, thank you so much for joining me again today. Thank you for coming back for part 2. Well, please introduce yourself for the sake of those who have not watched part 1.
Thank you for having me. My name is Milka. I'm hailing from a beautiful village called Ohongo in Ngwena region, northern part of Namibia. And I'm a student at NAS Bachelor of Criminal Justice. I'm loving, friendly, kind. That's Milka, and this is my story part 2.
Welcome to There Is Still Hope.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get started. In part 1, you narrated to us the ordeals of your life, the physical and the sexual abuse, and yeah, your lovely grandmother. And you also came at a point where you happened to run away from Angola back to your grandmother, and life was better for you there. We just want you to tell us about how you went to university and how life was for you there.
Well, to start off, then I went to secondary school, and still the struggle continued. It was not yet also easy. So my going to secondary school, it was because of that 1,000 promise. My sister promised to me when I was writing my exam, grade 10 exam, that if you pass very well this grade 10 exam, I will have a 1,000 just to appreciate you for your hard work. And then from there, the results come out. I passed my grade 10 exam. I have now to go to secondary school. There was no money apart from that of $1,000 that my sister promised me. And it was not even yet ready because my sister Bob card was not working that day, the day that I was supposed to go to secondary school. So she got a little cash, and then that's what she used up for little things that could take me to school, like the cosmetics. She have to bring other stuff the next day.
Okay, so what you're saying is that she did not manage to give you the $1,000 because the ATM was not working, but she managed to gather a little bit of cash to at least get you to school.
Yes, that's what she did. Because I remember I've been at school with these other yellow pumps of mine. Imagine we were at our school, Madikangi Kaulinge Secondary School, were black and white. And imagine you being on the shoes that are yellow on black and white.
How did you feel being in class with yellow shoes?
Yeah, I felt bad, but then I understand the situation. That is what it is. You just have to. So secondary school, it was fine. Yeah, but then there was this other time where I was going to school without even money from the weekend. Like a person or someone from the house will see you in an uncle's room, and then they will think apparently you're given money to go to school. Even if you are to say I was not given money, they will still convince grandma not to give you that because you were with the other uncle. And then that weekend I went to school without any money except the money that the little that I saved from the other weekend. At least if I didn't get, I should use up this one.
Why didn't you tell your grandmother that you did not receive any money from anyone?
I told my grandma that I was not given money, but then when there's someone who is strong, convincing than yours, and you are just a young person, they are bigger, so grandma has to, for sure, have to go for them. And that's what she did that time. And then when I get to school, probably after some 4 days or 3 days, I called home to grandma and then just told grandma. And I remember I was even crying. And then I was telling our grandma, this is what is happening. I didn't receive anything. My uncle didn't give me anything that day. So grandma had to send something for me to school.
Okay. What happened next?
What happened next, now it was that time of me being in grade 12, and it's obvious I have to write my exam of grade 12. Then I did write my exam. Now it was time for holiday. And like we were 3 in the house who were at high school with my 2 other cousins. Now they went for holiday because we normally finish up in October, and then it now takes 3 months for you to receive your result. So now I had to ask my uncle to go for holiday because others were also going and I also needed to go. So I did now ask my uncle so I can go for holiday to Windhoek. And then he said I should come, of which I did. And I went to Windhoek. That was now 2017. I stayed there December until January 2017 now, where I had to wait for my grade 12 result. Then when they came, I get now an F, but I passed all the other subjects. But then you failing English, it was a straight not you going anywhere. So I had to go improve. Now I was now feeling bad because my former classmates are moving on, they are going to university, and I had to be left behind. I have to be thinking about where am I going to get money for me to improve. And that was a lot of thoughts that I had to go through. So my uncle gave me the improving money to go improve at Namcol. By then, I had to be reminded of that money every time. Every time there was something to be contributed at home, Uncle would say, me, I paid Milka school, I'm not going to contribute anything. Like everything that, for almost the whole year, he wasn't contributing anything in the name of that he has given me money to go improve. But then I was grateful because he did. If he wasn't, then I don't know. That was now the year that I was improving, staying with my uncle, and the situation at home was not okay.
Why are you saying the situation was not okay?
I'm saying it was not okay because he'll be complaining about everything, even the little things that was not supposed to be complaining about. For instance, he'll be complaining about the food. And there was also this guy that was staying with him who works for my uncle. He always comes in my room asking for me to sleep with him, and I didn't like the idea. I have always said no, and then it now get to the point where I was tired of telling him, I'm not going to do this with you. I didn't want to report him to my uncle because that was the only home he knew. He has been staying there for years, even before me. So to my uncle, he was a good person, but not to me. So I didn't report him for that reason. And we see him as a family member and my elder brother. So I couldn't just do it like that.
Did you tell anybody else?
Yes, I told my cousin and one of my friends.
Okay. What did they do about it?
They did nothing about it because they are just the same age as mine.
Okay. And what happened next?
What happened next, because I was now getting tired of the situation at home, after writing the exam, I have now to go home to grandma and just to say everything out, because I know grandma listens to me without judging, and she always understands me. And then when I talked up, I'll get some comfort from her. So, but before I leave to the north, there was this auntie of mine who told me that if you are then going to the north, don't go to the north because you still need to stay here and then just find something to do with. At least you can come. And then when I'm done with the exam and outside of the situation at home, I wanted now to go to the north and just stay there. But before I leave, I told one of my auntie that I was going home and I'm not going to come back because of the situation at home. And she said, no, you shouldn't go and then never come back. At least go and come back and stay with me because I'm only staying with my husband. From the north, I went to auntie, and then when I was at auntie, I was now waiting for my result of grade 12 that I was improving now. The result came and I got a new in English.
Even worse than the F.
That was now worse, because so I felt like, no, maybe education was not for me. It's high time maybe I should stop this thing. They should just try to get me something else, even a job. It will be better.
So those were your thoughts?
Yeah, those were my thoughts. So my auntie said, no, I'll give you money to go try one more time, of which she did, and I'm very grateful for that. So I was now given money to go improve the second time. I did improve the second time, and then I got an E that takes me to university.
Okay.
That was now time to go to university.
Well, guys, this is Milka's story. This is Milka's journey. It is not to discredit anyone. It is not to paint anyone black. It is literally just to let another person learn from her situation that, look, I have gone through this and I did not allow it to define me. Neither did I allow it to break me down. This is where I am today. So she's simply saying, be strong. It can change for you. Stay tuned. Tell us about your university life. What happened there?
Yeah, it was an awesome, frustrating journey. It has cost me everything.
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking of being in the street, talking of being rejected, talking of losing my own hair. Like, I had long hair and I had to cut it off because it was like thousands of tons of cement. So
what happened to the hair?
It all started at the beginning of January 2019 when I had to go to university. There was no registration fee, and I was so stressed. Every time I have headache, and I can't just feel like, even the hair itself, they become so heavy on my own head. So I had to cut them off. Then upon registration, before registration, my auntie said, no, you are not going to tell the uncle and the other aunties. I'm going to do it for you, because every time it's you to ask for them, even when sometimes in actual fact it's them to at least to reach out to you. But it's always you who do that.
So what did she mean by that?
What she meant by saying so, it even when sometimes we have misunderstanding at home with the uncles or the auntie, even if I'm not wrong, it was always me to say sorry, or to say, no, we need to have peace, or we need to do something about this. We don't need to stay like this. It was always me, even when it's their faults. So my auntie called the other uncles and the other aunties to add up for me on registration fee. Some they responded well, some they didn't respond well. The registration was now almost to end, and the money was not there. So my sister said, whatever way it's gonna take, I'm going to try if I can get you anything. Of which she did get a 2,000, of which now the auntie and the uncle has to add on to.
Okay.
The other had added on, the other didn't add it on. So very good for those ones that have added on. Now I got the registration fee to go to school, but my aunt was supportive and was all okay about it, getting the money for me. But then coming to now that I've gotten money, she was again feeling like I should not go register. She was having this idea that I should not go register at NAST. I should at least go still improve the English.
Why did she feel like that?
She felt like I should go do education, and me, I didn't want to go do education. That's when now the misunderstanding comes in with the auntie and I. So it was this now, she wanted me to go do education, and the other part I know is that she had a little baby that she wanted me to be staying with, because at Access, you won't have that much of time to be at school, you'll always be home.
Okay, do you mind explaining what that is, what Access is?
It's the course that you do to improve your English at Namibian.
Okay.
Yeah. So I told her, no, auntie, I'm not going to do education. I don't want to do education. And now that the money is enough, the registration fee is enough, let me just get through with NAST if they can accept me, and then let me try. I'm tired of improving. By then, she was not happy of that. because what she wanted was me to do education.
And what did you want to do?
I went for criminal justice, what I wanted to do. After all that season of registration and me going to school, things now started getting from bad to worse in the house now. I'll be coming from school, like I was doing part-time. We normally knock off at 9:30. And before I goes to school, every time and every day, you have to stay with the kid from 5 when Andy is going to work to 2. And imagine
5 in the morning?
Yeah, 5 in the morning to 2 afternoon, waiting for the other one to come stay with the kid when they got from school. I have to stay with the baby. I have to do all that has to be done in the house during that time. And imagine I have serious activity that choose always at 10 or 12. I misses all those quiz and activities so that I can stay with the kid. There was a time where I told Andy that no, I needed to go to school early this time, but then she felt like I didn't want to stay with the kid. But then I had something that I wanted to go do at school, and it was true.
So what you're saying is that sometimes you're supposed to go to school, but you can't go to school because you have to stay with the baby.
Yes, because I have to stay with the baby. I don't go to school the time where I should sometimes be at school.
Okay.
And now it was now getting worse and worse every day. So the other cousin reported to her mom that no, this, because when I goes to school, it's her to come do all the other stuffs at home. Now her have the voice to tell the mom that no, this is what is happening. Her mom talked to the husband, to the auntie's husband now, which is now a brother to her mom, to the cousin's mom. So they got a nanny. Now they got a nanny to stay with the kid.
Okay.
At least we can go to school. But that nanny just stayed with us for 2 weeks, and then she left. I don't know what was the reason of leaving, because the day she left, I wasn't home. When I came back, I found her things are not in the room. She left. When I came from church, my cousin is quiet about it. And is quiet about it. No one was saying why she has gone. You can tell that the situation was not okay. Everyone was not happy that Sunday at home. And there's just no way you can start to ask, and whom are you going to ask? So the next day was Monday, and she had to go to work, and she had to leave the kid with me. Her leaving the kid with me that Monday. So as usual, we all locks our room. Then that morning when she wakes up, she had to bring the kid to us now to our room. So the room was now locked, and I was still asleep. I felt like there's someone knocking at the door. Then when I wake up to come open the door, and they had already left to her room. So I just unlocked the door and then go back to sleep. Then immediately she bring the baby. That Monday she didn't greet me, she just dropped the baby at me. And then she left for work. Well, she didn't take long to be at work. She probably came back around 3 there. Then when she came back, she had to set a meeting for us, my cousin and I, the son and the other cousin.
What was the meeting about?
The meeting was now about us being given green light to go wherever we want to go to.
To leave the house?
To leave the house, the 2 of us now. I don't know what was my cause. The cause for the other cousin, apparently she is the reason why the nanny had left.
Okay.
And that I got to hear it in the meeting. So in the meeting, they were now exchanging some words with the cousin. In my mind, I felt like I did nothing. Like maybe the meeting was just even to hear what was the reason of the nanny, why, or what is the way forward. Not knowingly that it was for me to be given the green light to leave. So I was told, you Milka, you should choose whether you should go to stay with Uncle Huhu, or you should go to Aunt Huhu at Wewe, or you should go to your cousin at Wewe. The family is big. That was what I was told.
Okay.
Because you don't love the kid, you don't say sweet words, and you didn't tell me that you are in holiday. But mind you, before the holiday, she's the one who asked me, when is the holiday? That was a Tuesday, the other Tuesday in June. I said, no, the holiday will be next week.
Okay.
But then she knew that I don't go to school. Like, I stays with the kid the whole day in the house. So,
Okay, but when she was telling you that she's giving you a green light to go, did you had any place in mind?
I didn't have any place in mind other than to go to the north to grandma. As early as I have said in part 1, I have been from this family to this family, so I got tired of living with family. And the most family person that I consider is grandma, and that is it.
Okay.
So
So after you left, where did you go?